Welcome to the Jameela Adams Experience podcast. It's the place to be if you're a woman over 40 who wants to feel inspired, empowered, and heard. Jameela Adams, your host, is an entrepreneur and best-selling author who will discuss how to find joy and happiness in life's challenges. So come and join the experience.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jameela Adams Experience. Hi, I'm your host, Jameela Adams, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that is something that resonates with me because I'm going through it. And it's interesting because after all these years, I've learned that aging isn't bad. And what's interesting is that we're going to talk about making peace with it. In this world, everything is so geared towards or obsessed with staying young. But the truth is, aging is a gift. It really is. And sometimes we lose sight of that. Our age, our experience is something that is a privilege to have. And believe it or not, some people look towards you as a way to get their information and guidance and so on. So let's flip the script on this. We see people, especially on social media. I try to take digital detox breaks because after a while it can be overwhelming. But let's be real here. When we go on social media and we see the IG models and all of that, even the buff guys, not leaving the guys out on this one, but it's interesting how we're just obsessed with this youth and being wrinkle free and being everything that's not tagged to aging. And I find it kind of sad. So let's talk about embracing our wisdom, our experience, our authentic selves as we age. So grab your favorite beverage, be it alcoholic or not, no judgment here, and let's get started. And let's be honest about an uplifting conversation about aging and how time gives us this freedom to grow and to just be us and to have joy. I want to start by addressing something that we've all felt at some point, society's pressure to stay young. We don't have to look at TV, like I said, or social media to know that there's products out there to pull the jaws back, to get rid of the crow's feet or the lines or the levitt in your forehead. They're there for a reason because they're telling us we don't like the way that you look. And to be honest, that's kind of sad. And I didn't realize this until I got over 40. I mean, it's always been there. Heck, I remember going out and pointing fingers at all the older people trying to look young. And now I'm one of those people. I never imagined it. But at the same time, I'm so blessed and fortunate to made it to this age that I am. So we have been conditioned. The moment you see a line on your face or gray hair on your head, you have to change it. But why is that? I don't understand it. Why is it so hard pressed to be anti-aging or turning back the clock? But it all stems from acceptance from society, acceptance from ourselves, and acceptance from family and friends. Let's be real here. You know, you've heard the stories from mothers saying to their daughters, you gotta look good, you gotta be pretty, you gotta stay youthful because you have to represent your family. Yeah, but that's what we've been told all these years. So, aging is not a flaw, it's a journey. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every experience is a testament that we've lived. And we need to see aging as it truly is. It's something beautiful because it's a privilege. And we have to remind ourselves that gaining wisdom and coming into our power is an amazing feeling. So I want to ask you a question. If we stop focusing on what we've lost and start focusing on what we've gained through our age, what would that be like? I mean, look at our 20s if we can remember it, if we let's be real here, sometimes the 20s and the 30s was that foggy period because we were either partying, working and partying and going to school, partying, and we were trying to prove ourselves. But now, do we really have to? Do we have to prove ourselves? Through gaining wisdom, at least we should have gained wisdom, we're coming into our own power. So let's remind that, let's be reminded of that. We've lived, we've learned, and we can pass it on to our children, grandchildren, and so on, friends, neighbors, the younger kids in our neighborhood. And what we've been through has made us stronger and more resilient, and hopefully, like I said, wiser. I think honestly, when I look back at my youth, especially my late teens, early 20s, I wanted to be older so bad. And I think a lot of it was due to me being with my older siblings. I started clubbing at a young age, very young age. I knew how to make myself look older. Now I look at it like, what were you thinking? But I really wanted to blend in with my older siblings. So I would dress up a little bit differently, wear my hair differently, obviously wear makeup a lot differently. And now I look back on it, I should have stayed in my lane and enjoyed being a teenager or a 20 something. So, I look back on it and time passed, and I'm so thankful and grateful to be where I'm at right now. So, as we move through life, embracing wisdom and what we learned and celebrating freedom, that comes with it. We should not look back with regrets. I mean, of course, we'll look back and say, I wish I had done things differently. But at the same time, whatever happened to us back then has made us the person that we are now. And that includes aging. If we take care of ourselves now, or we should have been taking care of ourselves back then, we will be better off now. But sometimes we don't learn that lesson until we're in our 30s. And that's okay too. But we're taking care of ourselves. At least we should. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, refining beauty and our looks. Because I'm not going to lie to you, there are days when I look at myself and I'm like, ooh, where did that come from? Or, wow, I didn't look like this 10 years ago. And that's okay. But here we are. So I don't know about you, but I'm tired of seeing beauty defined by youth alone. Beauty is obviously more than skin deep. It's certainly not something we lose as we age. I believe that when we age, we become more beautiful. And the reason why I say that is because whatever is within us is going to come out. So beauty becomes deeper, more nuanced, more powerful as we grow older. The confidence that we carry, boy, let me tell you, it's confidence that gets me through. The light in our eyes is what shines, and it makes us more inviting, and people want to approach us. At least I think so. But I know that there are women out there and men who feel like they're being ignored or being passed over, and that sucks. Our age should not be a deterrent or a detriment. It's something that everyone should look forward to. Aging is a life process. We're evolving. And through that life process, we should be able to see the good in it. We should be able to see or want to see the good in it. So aging gives us a gift of knowing what truly matters. Beauty at 40, 50, 60, and beyond is about authenticity. It's about being comfortable in your own skin because we're embracing the stories that our bodies have told, the children that came from us, the wrinkles, let's be honest, the stretch marks. But those things have proven that we've lived, we've cried, we've laughed, When I look at laugh lines, look at crow's feet, anything like that, that means we lived, we explored, we did things, we've accomplished things through our work, through our family, and just in our daily lives. So let's stop conforming to these outdated and outlandish standards about what beauty should look like and define it on our own terms. Look in the mirror. I challenge you to look in the mirror and see the beauty in you. Don't see what is causing you turmoil, but see the beauty that you were created to have. See the beauty that is within you. And that's what tells a unique story about you. We're all unique individuals. We all have our quirks and whatnot. But it's within us, what comes within us, that is shown outwardly. And that's what we should be focusing on. So let's talk about wisdom and embracing it. There are some powerful things about wisdom that comes with age. We've learned our lessons, at least some of us did. Let's hope we don't repeat them. And sometimes we learned them the hard way. Let's try not to repeat them. But those lessons shaped us. They made us who we are and who we want to be now. And that's something we shouldn't take for granted. What experiences that we have, we can share with those who haven't gotten to that point. And that is the joy of wisdom. So when I talk about things that have occurred in my life, especially with my children and their friends, I always said, looking back on it, there were some dumb things I've done. Thank goodness camera phones weren't very big back then, if at all. So, because I know I would have been on someone's YouTube reel. Let's be real here. But the point I'm trying to make is whatever lessons you've learned the hard way or anyway, you can tell that to someone younger and explain to them, hey, look, don't make my mistakes, make your own. Let my life be an example of what not to do or what to do in some aspect. So that's what I enjoy talking about with people younger than me and giving my thoughts, my ideas, or whatnot when asked. I don't just do it randomly. When asked, I will give my thoughts about it. But that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to share our wisdom with others. So our 40s and beyond can be the most empowering years in our lives. It's a time to fully step into our power, be it through our work. We work for others or we work for ourselves or we have our side projects. But we should trust our instincts and give ourselves permission to live our own terms. As a believer, I always consult through prayer and petition to ask for wisdom, because that's what God gives abundantly is wisdom. So that's what I do ask for. And I do love to share that with others. I don't like to gatekeep my ideas or something I've learned. I do believe whatever I learned, I will pass it on. And that's something we should be gifting to younger people, because they are looking to us, believe it or not. They do look toward us to help them. And this is why we should live our lives fully and unapologetically. The third thing I want to talk about is letting go of expectations. There is this myth that life should follow certain timelines, like when you should get married, when you should have your career or retire. But if you don't know, you're not falling behind. You're actually on your timeline. My timeline and your timeline are two different things. And that's okay because we're two individuals. The truth is, life doesn't follow a linear path. It's a journey full of twists and turns. And boy, have I had some twists and turns in my life. So there is no right or wrong way to live. But the point is that we have our own timelines. We need to follow those and not compare, because comparison is a joy killer. Don't compare your life with someone else. I've been guilty of that. And I felt really bad about it after a while, because why am I competing with someone who did something totally out of my realm of expertise or my sphere, it just doesn't make sense. So I had to learn to stop comparing myself with others and be happy and grateful for the life I have. So as we age, it's time to let go of expectations, the ones that society places on us and the ones we place on ourselves. Sometimes we are our own worst critic or own worst enemy. And there isn't a timeline for success, happiness, or fulfillment. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and still trying to figure things out, that's okay. You're where you're supposed to be. And if you're a believer, God has you on the path that He wants you to be on. You just have to ask Him to lead you to where He wants you to go. But that's something that we all have to, I guess you could say, align ourselves with, because we have all these expectations and we really need to let go of them. So I don't know about you, but I find it freeing and in that mindset of just letting go of all the expectations that are there and just live the best life that I have. So before we wrap up, I want to remind you that you're not aging, you're evolving. And with every year, with every experience, with every lesson learned, you're becoming more of who you are meant to be. So don't let the world tell you otherwise and say that your best years are behind you. To be honest with you, our best years are what's ahead of us. Our best days are right now. So don't live in the past. Always be present and be mindful. And don't be looking towards the future. What I mean is, don't be so anxious about the future. Stay present. Be here, not there and not there. So be where you are. So with that being said, I want you to be inspired, be inspiring, be encouraged, and be encouraging. But most of all, I want you to be you, and I'll chat with you next week. Oh, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you see the podcast, pass it on. Share it with those you love. I really appreciate it because we're still trying to build a community here. And I thank you for taking time out of your day. So chat with you next week. Take care.